Alright, guys. I did not plan on going live today. Hair is not done. Makeup's not on. That's why I got the sunglasses on. There, I've exposed all women for their secret behind the scenes trick. So whenever you see a woman with sunglasses on and you think, wonder why they have those on. It seems odd. You'll know that it is because they are hiding the fact that they don't have makeup on. So like I said, I didn't plan on going live today, but I thought, well, I'm sitting here trying to download some programs, so I may as well go live. I'm going to tweet this out real quick. I'm live talking Black Lives. Watch. And get the little emoji to go with it. There. Tweet. I haven't checked Twitter in like a while. So let's see. Alright, so moving back over here. So I wanted to talk about Black Lives Matter a little bit. Actually, I didn't want to talk about that, but I feel like I need to address it just because it's been the top of the news, very frustrating. I am so sick to death of getting these emails from every company and their mother talking about how they stand against racism, how they support Black Lives Matter, how their company felt the need to address this. Why does every company now need to address every social issue or every political issue that's going on? Why is this now a thing? Because this happened with coronavirus. Everybody had to send out an email talking about coronavirus and how their company was handling it. That made a little bit more sense just because businesses were having to shut down over that. And so it made a little bit more sense for people to say, hey, here's what's going on with us. But now this is like, why? Like, if your business is actually under attack and you're trying to let people know, hey, we're not going to be open for a while, that's one thing. But if your business has nothing to do with anything, I'm talking about like these corporate things that's like going out, we stand with Black Lives Matter, we stand we stand against racism, all of this. If you guys didn't already stand against racism, and I'm just now finding out that you do through this email, then there's something wrong with your company. I don't know what is wrong with you people. Why do I need an email saying, I mean, it should be a given. I don't need an email addressing the issue. This isn't 1962. Yeah, it's frustrating. I'm eating an apple. Not that you guys care, but I did want to go back for the couple of Zoomers that might be watching this. Not that Zoomers watch my channel. It's mostly like middle-aged guys, I'm pretty sure, according to the analytics. But if you are a Zoomer and if you follow me on Twitter, because I know a couple of Zoomers follow me on Twitter, Black Lives Matter didn't just appear overnight. If you were around following politics in 2013, that's when Black Lives Matter started, or at least this incarnation of it did. Happened after the Trayvon Martin killing. I say killing just because I know people get up in arms over it. It was not a murder. It was ruled as self-defense. Trayvon Martin was being followed by a neighborhood watch person who was told to stand down by the police. He was not being racially profiled. He was acting strangely. There had been a lot of robberies in the neighborhood. And this neighborhood watch guy, who was Mexican, by the way, or Hispanic. I'm not sure if he was actually Mexican or just generically Hispanic, but he was frustrated with all of the robberies that have been going on in his neighborhood. He sees this guy who's acting suspicious, looking in windows of stores, being suspicious, and so he follows them while he's on the phone with 911, and 911 says, don't follow him, stop following him, we'll take care of it. And that's where he went wrong. This Hispanic guy decided that he was going to continue following the guy because he didn't want, again, it was an instance of bad judgment on his part. He ought to have listened to the authorities in this case and said, you know what, I'll just let them take care of it. I've reported this guy, but, whatever. So he continues to follow the guy, and I'm a little fuzzy on the details, but it ended up with an altercation where Trayvon Martin ended up attacking the guy for following him and then smashing the guy's head into the pavement repeatedly. And then the Mexican guy or Hispanic guy, I know he was Hispanic. I can't confirm that he was Mexican. This was in Florida. He ended up shooting Trayvon Martin in order to get him to stop attacking him. So bad decisions all around. But this was not like, oh my gosh, there's a black kid on the street, I need to kill him. That's not what this was about. This was a guy who was frustrated because there had been multiple robberies in the neighborhood, and he saw a guy walking around acting suspicious, looking in, store windows and stuff. And he was like, I don't want this happening anymore. And then he took the law into his own hands, well, to a certain extent. And then ultimately resulted in him having to defend himself with a gun. And everybody's like, "But stand your ground laws are wrong." Well, they didn't even defend the guy on stand your ground laws. This was a clear-cut case of his head was being bashed into the cement, and he defended himself, and that's what happened. Anyway, so Black Lives Matter arose as a reaction to the Trayvon Martin case, which ended up getting blown way out of proportion because Barack Obama weighed in on it. He didn't weigh in on it for like months after it happened, but then for some reason he thought it would be politically advantageous for him to weigh in on it, and he made a big deal about it. He said, if I had a son, then he would have looked like Trayvon. And so that sparked the whole Black Lives Matter thing. And we had lots and lots of riots and violent protesting back in 2013. I remember this. It was my early to mid college years were just fraught with this stuff. And I got my first death threats from the whole Trayvon Martin thing because I spoke out against this whole idea that we need to burn down buildings because somebody got shot. Obviously, it was a terrible situation. Somebody told me the dispatcher told Zimmerman he was the guy following Trayvon. We don't need you to do that. Then the dispatcher wanted physical address at the apartment complex, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so there's different versions of how the story went. I'm just telling you the one that I'm familiar with. Because I covered this. I used to be massively politically involved at this time. This was like at the height of my political involvement. Prior to my joining the conservative industry. And so I had these stories memorized. I like all the insides and outs at the time that the information was being given. But the whole point of it is Black Lives Matter came from that instance, and regardless of what you guys think about it, I don't really care. It's an old story. It's a has-been story. The bottom line is the current Black Lives Matter movement it's the same movement coming from the 2013 movement and 2014. It was 2013 and 2014. I think that those were the worst years of those riots. But we had all this same stuff. We had the looting, we had the rioting, we had the burning things in the streets, we had people getting killed, we had additional Black people getting killed through these riots, just like we're having now. And so basically what I'm trying to say here, guys, is for those of you Zoomers who are out there saying, I support Black Lives Matter, it's Antifa that's taking over Black Lives Matter and making them look bad. That's not what's happening. Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement, has been violent from the beginning. It has always been like this. It's not Antifa taking it over and making it look bad, though Antifa may be part of it. It's Black Lives Matter has been a bad organization from the beginning. And I know everybody's going to be like, oh, but that means you hate Black people. No, that means you don't think that Black Lives Matter. No, that's not what I'm saying. That is completely untrue, false, ridiculous foolishness. I can't believe anybody would think that I would say that. The bottom line is that these groups that go out and loot and destroy. I'm not talking about actual protesting, because that's not what Black Lives Matter is about. Black Lives Matter is not about saving Black people. Black Lives Matter is not about police brutality. Black Lives Matter is about finding an excuse to go out and destroy other people's property and kill people in order to push their own separate agenda. And if you don't believe me, you can go back and look at the 2013, 2014, 2015 riots. I think they had dissipated by 2015, but I can't remember. But you guys got to go back and look at this stuff, because what's happening now is no different than what was happening then. Since George Floyd's death, 9 more Black people have been killed in these riots. Like, because of these riots, they have been killed. Not by white people, but by other Black people. But we don't talk about that because, you know, it doesn't fit the narrative. Anyway, it's just frustrating to me, what's going on with a lot of younger people who say that Antifa is taking over the Black Lives Matter movement and is making them look bad by looting and destroying. That is not what's happening. Black Lives Matter has always been violent. Black Lives Matter has always been out of control, and it has never been about Black lives and saving Black people. It has always been about their own separate agenda, piggybacking on, like, because they have the name Black Lives Matter, so that if you disagree with them or say this is wrong, hey, looting stores and destroying things is wrong, if you say any of those things, then automatically you hate Black people or something, because the movement is called Black Lives Matter. It's their little human shield thing going on. So that's basically what I wanted to say. It's just frustrating seeing all these younger people who were in high school at the time of the original Black Lives Matter, or younger, and didn't know what was going on or weren't following it, and now they just wake up one day and they find Black Lives Matter on their doorstep, and they're like, oh my gosh, well, we hate racism. We want to show everyone that we're not racist. If you have to show somebody you're not racist, then you probably are. I don't have to show anybody that I'm not racist, because I'm not. I don't have to do anything to prove it. I don't have to prove myself to any of you. So let me make sure that tweet went up, because I'm not getting a lot of views. Do comment in the comment section. I will get to the comments. I know I haven't been as interactive today. I just really wanted to speak my piece on this issue. Now we've got Brian Stelter's out. He's all, the riots are over. The riots are over. And then he's locking his tweets so that no one can respond to them. And I'm like, well, that just makes me think that you're afraid of criticism and you're insecure about your own opinion, and you don't want anybody to say, hey, well, there might be some disagreement. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying any of what he's saying is wrong. I'm just saying it's a bad look for somebody who claims to be a journalist and who thinks he's some highfalutin media guy. I just think that it's wrong for him to lock his tweets in that way, because it makes you look like you're hiding something, or that you feel insecure in what you posted, and that you're afraid for somebody to comment on it or disagree with you on it. Like, if you're gonna say something and if you're gonna post something online, just own it. You don't need to be hiding behind the lock button or whatever. It's very frustrating. Folks says he's out of Twitter jail after 7 days. Big news also, in addition to that, Matt's Idea Shop got unlocked. He's back up. Very happy about that. So, not much interaction in the comments today. I don't think people really realized that I went live. It's not really my usual time for going live anyway. So, I appreciate everybody who has watched and everybody who will watch the replay of this video. I'm hoping that I'm going to continue doing the 2 videos a week, Saturday and Tuesday posting schedule, but right now I haven't had a whole lot of content to like put out for you guys. So if there is, like, I still, at this point, I still plan on putting out something on Saturday, but if there's, for some reason, there's a day that I usually post that something doesn't go out, that's why. And I haven't been able to do a regular live stream because I haven't been able to, it's just been too hot to do it in the car, but it's not that bad today. So, all right. Connection is unstable, so I'm going to log off. Thank you guys for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, Ring the bell for notifications, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. Out.